In this build video, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can be able to get insane amounts of super energy on your Void Warlock. You're gonna get tons of grenade energy, which weakens targets and also grants you super energy as well. 2, you're gonna have this exotic weapon that demolishes every single ad in your path and also makes them explode as well. I would like to give a huge shout out to this comment. Could you do one for Void Warlocks? I did make another video on a build on the Arc Warlock, which gives you tons of super energy. So then he asked me if I could do it on a Void Warlock, and you ask and you shall receive. So in this video, we're going to be getting tons of super energy as what I previously talked about. If you would like to know how you can be able to do all of these sorts of things, be sure to stay tuned. And of course, if you would like to try out the build for yourself, the dim link will also be in the link in the description. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Of course, with every video, we got to start with the subclass. There are 2 supers that you can choose from. One of them is Nova Bomb Vortex, and the second one is Nova Bomb Cataclysm. For me personally, I would go for Vortex because all you do is just shoot and aim, and then it creates a ginormous vortex grenade. But if you want to go for the Cataclysm, go for it. Either or, because of the cooldowns, which is both 8 minutes and 20 seconds. For the abilities, I was using Healing Rift for more healing, which of course we really need just in case. For the Void Grenade, I do recommend going for Vortex Grenade because that is like the best grenade for Void Warlocks whenever you make a build consisting on grenades. And for the aspects, there are 2 of them, which both give you 2 fragment slots, so you will have 4 fragments in total. The first one is Chaos Accelerant. This one gives your grenades a Giga Chad buff. Let me explain. Of course, I already mentioned we're using Vortex Grenades, so for Vortex Grenades, it increases the size and linger duration of the vortex. The next Void Fragment is Feed the Void. This is very good if you like getting Devour non-stop with your abilities. Whenever you defeat a target with your Void ability, it would activate Devour, and whenever you proc Devour and you get a kill afterwards, it would extend the Devour up to 10 seconds. And let me show you guys what Void Fragments you'll need for this build. If you want to be able to weaken targets and also deal more damage to that specific target, you would need to put Echo of Undermining, which gives you -20 discipline. The second one is good for buffing your Void weapons, in which case we're using 2 of them in this build, which also explodes targets even more when you proc this fragment, which is Echo of Instability. Whenever you get a grenade kill, it would grant you volatile rounds to your Void weapons, and it would give you +10 strength, which also, whenever you get volatile rounds, you would be able to stun anti-barrier champions. The third one would, of course, give you the ability to generate even more super energy when you are surrounded by combatants. This one is called Echo of Reprisal. The last one is good for ad clearing, and it also gives you +10 intellect, and it's Echo of Expulsion. Void ability Final Blows causes targets to explode. Without further ado, let's head to the weapones. For the kinetic, you can use any special weapon you would like on the kinetic weapon slot, and for me, I would go for a fusion rifle because in this season, you would get Unstoppable Fusion Rifle. So in this video, I'm using Riptide with Chill Clip and auto-loading holster. And I do like to mention that you can be able to stun every single champion in this game with this build. For the energy, I'm using the Graviton Lance, which got a buff to weapon damage when dealing with red bars. So this is pretty good as well. And here's why. The perk on the Graviton Lance is Cosmology. Kills with this weapon cause enemy targets to detonate and spawn void projectiles that track targets. This is kind of like volatile rounds, but I do think it's a bit better because every time it gets a kill, it spreads each and every kill, which is pretty hot, not gonna lie. And for the intrinsic trait, it's called Black Hole. The second shot of the burst rips a hole through space-time, doing high damage and recoil with no fall off. And if you have the Catalyst, it would give you Vorpal and Turnabout. And the Catalyst will also give you +20 range if you do like to snipe every single ad for like from Uganda. So it's pretty good. So that is the first way to proc volatile rounds, and that is the only weapon from this build that you can be able to get anti-barrier rounds. The next Void weapon is the Commemoration. Who would have guessed? This is like the best LMG for Void builds, so that's why I put it. And the perks you would want to go for are Reconstruction and Killing Tally. Killing Tally is better than Rampage if you would like to deal like a minor damage boost so do be sure to go for killing tally. And the origin trait for this LMG is pretty sick, not gonna lie. It's called Bray Inheritance. Dealing damage regenerates a small amount of ability energy. So for the weapons, you're most likely going to be using your exotic weapon and your power weapon. To 1, get volatile rounds, of course, and 2, to get tons of super energy while you have volatile rounds. And I only put, of course, the fusion rifle is because the stun unstops. And here's what I was using for the seasonal mods, as you can see on screen. The main seasonal mods you would want to go for are Overload Machine Gun, Rapid Fire Ranger, Elemental Munition, Elemental Fury, which is good for dealing more damage to stun champions, Elemental Orbs Void, and of course, Unstoppable Fusion. Now, let me explain what the exotic armor you're going to be using for this build. Of course, for like every grenade build on the Void Warlock, you gotta use Controverse Holds because of the armor perk. If you guys do not know, let me explain. Whenever you charge your Vortex grenade, it would proc Chaotic Exchanger and it would grant you 20% damage resist. You know when you proc this is when you see it on the left side of your screen, and whenever you release your nade and it hits a target, it would grant you 2,000% additional base grenade regeneration rate for 1.75 seconds. That is an excruciating amount of ability energy focusing on your grenades, which is very nice, and you can just keep spamming and spamming and spamming, which is kind of pretty hot. And the cooldown between activations is 4 seconds. The charged vortex grenade can be procced twice if enemies get hit by the initial explosion and the last few ticks. This is how you can be able to 1, weaken targets, 2, make them explode, and 3, proc volatile rounds just by using one of your abilities. Let me tell you guys what stats you need to be rocking for this build. Of course, we're using a super build, so you got to go for intellect. So if you would have 100 intellect, the cooldown would be from 6 minutes and 23 seconds instead of 8 minutes and 20 seconds from those 2 supers that I did mention earlier in the video. And if you can, you could go for 100 resilience as well, because discipline and recovery is not going to matter. Because 1, we're getting Devour, and 2, because our exotic Gauntlet, which gives your grenades steroids. So yeah, go for intellect and resilience if you can. For the armor, I'm going to quickly explain what armor mods you'll need for every single armor piece. And if you would like to pause the video and see all of the armor mods, I will mention it afterwards. So let's start with the helmet. For the helmet, you're going to want to put Ashes to Assets, Dynamo, and Harmonic Siphon. For the exotic Gauntlet, you're going to want to put Firepower, Bolstering Detonation, and Momentum Transfer. For the chest, you're going to want to put Charged Up, Harmonic Resistance, and Solar Resistance. For your booties McSlooties, you could go for Insulation, Invigoration, and Void Weapon Surge. And last but not least, on your Warlock James Bond, you would want to go for Reaper, Outreach, and Powerful Attraction. And if you guys, of course, would like to see all of the armor mods right now, it would be on the screen as I am speaking right now. And if you guys would like to know how you can effectively use this build, let me explain. So you're first gonna want to proc Dynamo from your helmet, which decreases your super cooldown even more. So all you would have to do is run to an enemy, cast your Rift right beside him, and as soon as Dynamo is procced, be sure you're surrounded as well, and also charge your grenade and obliterate every single enemy around you to proc Ashes to Assets whenever you get a kill with your grenade. And be sure to get rapid kills to also proc Harmonic Siphon, which gives you orbs of power and also gives you super energy. So that is how you can be able to effectively use this build if you wanted to get as much super energy as you can possibly can. And I did get my super in under a minute. So if you want to get as much super energy as possible, you would of course have to find a ton of ads around you. But like on an average, you could be able to get your super like in roughly 3 to 5 minutes. But if you would like to get more super energy as well, if you made it this far into the video, be sure to put Void Walker in the comments. Or if you have a build in mind that you would like me to make probably in the next video or two, be sure to let me know in the comments as well. And who knows, your comment may be in one of my next videos, like in this video that you're watching right now. Be sure to hit that like button and also turn on those post notifications so you won't miss any single video that I make in the near future. I do appreciate you guys watching the whole video throughout its entirety. Join the Discord and also follow me on Kick. Everything will be in the link in the description. Take care, have a good rest of your day, evening, or afternoon, and peace.